Alright, there we go. So this is now the third time I've recorded this video, and I'm going to be going through every fight on the card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event of the UFC Fight Night in between Isreal Adesanya and Joe Pyfer. I have to say, this was one of the best fight nights I've seen in a couple of years. Almost every single fight was bloody. Almost every single fight had action. There was no point where I was almost falling asleep, as per usual on these cards, especially towards the middle of these cards. It was something that rivaled even the numbered cards, I'd have to say. And so we're going to start off with the early prelim of Bruno Brazil and Alexia Thainara. Alexia Thainara won majority decision. Well, a unanimous decision. But I believe it was 30-27. You could see from the strike totals, 137-72, 6 takedowns, 2 sub attempts, significantly better on significant strikes. I feel like Alexia Thainara was just too powerful for Bruno Brazil at that time, so I think Alexia Thainara should get somebody in the top 20-ish, maybe even a bit further up, maybe a top 12. But it was a good showing. It was a very good showing. Next up, we got Adrian Yanez versus Ricky Simón. A little bit of controversy here, which started off the controversy of the card, which I think was controversy of the year. Majority decision. Draw. Very interesting. You can tell from here the total strikes were very lopsided. Takedowns 2 of 5 to Ricky Simón. The significant strikes definitely went towards Adrian Yanez, which I think got him the second round, but Ricky Simón was able to put pressure on him. He did get a bit bloodied, and even on the last 10 seconds of the fight, he did get dropped badly by Adrian Yanez, which I personally think should have been stopped, but I can understand where, no harm, no foul, last 10 seconds, die on your shield type of thing. So I don't know. I'd say run it back. Maybe get somebody different for Adrian Yanez. I feel like Ricky Simón should probably get somebody in the top 15 to 20. Adrian Yanez should get somebody from the top 10 to 15, depending on how their performances went. It was still a great fight. Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. I picked Bruno Lopez to win. I don't know why I did. But, it was looking a little back and forth for the first round. Bruno Lopez using a lot of his spinning elbows, a lot of very explosive attacks, whereas Navajo Sterling was just popping out that jab, using a low kick every once in a while, using a lot of his boxing, which is very interesting to see from somebody in city kickboxing, to use their body punches for their boxing. But you could tell he was investing in the body early. Bruno Brazil started to get a little bit more, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but started trying to look for a finish when there wasn't one. I think there's a very promising future for Navajo Sterling if he works on his well-roundedness of the game, because people don't know how good he is on the ground. People don't know how good he is on the clinch. They know how good he is in open space, throwing leg kicks and very good boxing. But what happens after that? What happens if he gets taken down by, let's say, a Johnny Walker? Like, even though Johnny Walker doesn't have the experience on the ground, even just the length and size, I feel Navajo Sterling isn't going to be able to get past. But it is very interesting to see, once again, another city kickboxer getting into the fray of UFC. Next up, Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. A shocking KO first round by Casey O'Neill. What a performance. What a performance. Throwing just straight shots, straight looping shots, and then as soon as she's backing away, Gabriela Fernandez throws what seemed to be either a hook or a jab from her lead hand, and then that's where Casey O'Neill came over top with a check hook, rocking Gabriela Fernandez straight towards the fence. And then from there, Casey O'Neill just put on a barrage of punches. You could literally see Gabriela Fernandez get hit, smile, get hit again, and just power down from there. So I think that this was a very, very good showcase for Casey O'Neill, being out for about a year, year and a half now. I think she should get somebody in the top 15. I don't know who, but I feel like she should just get somebody in the top 15. But great fight. Great fight. Up next, more controversy. Tyrell Fortune versus Marcin Tybura. Now, with the way the strikes look, it should have gone to Tybura, and it did at first. Marcin Tybura was able to use a lot of potting shots, though. They weren't very significant strikes, whereas everything that Fortune threw with conviction. As you can see, 30 out of the 49 strikes were significant, whereas 47 out of the 85 for Tybura were power shots. So I feel as though neither of these guys obviously can make it to the top 5 and stay there. Tyrell Fortune going up against Curtis Blades, going up against Tom Aspinall, going up against Alexander Volkov, going up against Waldo or Cortez Acosta. I don't think he's going to get that done. Neither would Tybura. But I feel as though he's got a good puncher's chance. He's almost the new age Derek Lewis in the fact that he's more well-rounded and he doesn't have the punching power of Derek Lewis. But he plods around every once in a while. He's very light on his toes in the beginning of the fight, but as the fight goes along, he's just flat-footed trying to throw power shots. I think give Tyrell Fortune somebody in the top 15. Make sure that he's actually like meant to be here. I'd say probably, God, who do you even put him up against? The loser of Curtis Blades and Josh Hockett is what I would want on that. Next up, Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. I feel bad for Chase Hooper, man. We watched this guy ever since he came in at 19 years old. You know, had his ups and downs, and he's had another down being in the lightweight division, being knocked out in the first round of Lance Gibson. I mean, the thing is Chase Hooper was a very big featherweight, but now he is a very scrawny lightweight. He hasn't worked on his, well, I'd say Muay Thai kickboxing, because he's worked on his kickboxing, and he's very fast with his kicks. But he hasn't figured out how to turn the hips and get into the body and dig to the body. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at how this guy's made. Look at how this guy's made. You knew how this was going to end. So Lance Gibson, get him somebody in the top 15. Chase Hooper, get him somebody in the top 20. I'd say even cut him. Really? Fight of the night, Tofik Mosiah versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I feel like this shouldn't be fight of the night. This should be performance of the night for Ignacio Bahamondes. Ignacio Bahamondes had a huge... Well, okay, let me back it up. First round, Ignacio Bahamondes was winning clearly. Clearly. 21 to 20. 20 significant strikes to 11 significant strikes. Ignacio has the first round. Second round, that's where stuff starts getting very weird. Tofik Mosayev is able to take him down, I believe, or Ignacio accepts being on the ground. And then from there, Tofik goes from standing up to on his knees, elbows Ignacio Bahamondes right on the forehead. Causes a huge blood splatter, and it's shown all over the canvas. All over the canvas. There's just red everywhere. If I can just... Let me just pull this up real quick. Yeah, you could see from here. It's just bloodied all over. There's not a single bit of blood that's his on him, which is very weird. But you can see right here. Boom. Coming straight down. Now, during that time, I believe there was a point where... Yes, Ignacio Bahamondes was trying to take down Tawfiq Mosayev. Tawfiq Mosayev grabbed the cage with both of his hands, and the ref did not do shit. Did not do fuck all. Didn't take away a point. Didn't take away the fact that he almost got taken down. And so then they go into the third round. In the third round, Tawfiq Mosayev is on top, raining down punches, 29 punches and 6 punches throughout the entirety of the round. And Tawfiq decides it's a good idea to headbutt the dude. In basically the same position they were in. The same exact position, right here, and then headbutt. And then you can see he starts trying to figure out a way to get around. I mean, it was a good performance. I just fucking hate this guy so much. Like, oh my god, this guy pisses me off. Like, I'd say put him up against Lance Gibson. Lance Gibson Jr. But we'll see how that goes as time goes along. Up next, we have Terrence McKinney and Kyle Nelson. Terrence McKinney got it done first round KO. Nobody was really expecting that at the time. I just feel as though Kyle Nelson didn't really show up. He was kind of just there as a paycheck rather than anything else. Terrence McKinney threw a high kick. Or no, he threw a straight left hand before that got onto the guard. Kyle Nelson backs up towards the cage, and then Terrence McKinney throws up a high kick while Kyle Nelson has one knee up on one leg and arms straight up. And so he's able to get straight past that, use the power of the kick in order to send Kyle Nelson down. And then from there, it was just a lay and pray. Give Terrence McKinney somebody in the top 15. Hell, even give him Tawfiq Mosayev. I don't give a fuck at this point. I want somebody to beat the shit out of him. Up next, Yursi Baghouri versus Mansour Abdul Malik. I had Baghouri winning this one. I said by second round TKO, but third round's fine too. It was really just the fact of 6'6" can't be hit all. You know what I mean? 107 strikes to 16 strikes. And so Mansour Abdul Malik is a D2, D1 wrestler. He's not able to get inside of the range of Yursi throughout the entirety of the fight. It was very difficult for him to. Anytime he would try to, he'd either get hit with a knee, he'd get hit with an uppercut, a jab, something on the way. And so you could see as it went along, there were just less and less strikes. And it seemed as though in the third round, Yusri was starting to get tired, which is very interesting, because then it makes me wonder how he's going to do in 5-round situations if he ever gets to that point. Sorry, I had to yawn. But give Yusri somebody in the top 15. Give him maybe an Edmund Shabazian, maybe a Magomed Sharipov. Next up, one I was not really looking into when I made this prediction, Larian Douglas versus Julian Erosa. I thought Julian Erosa did not have a glass chin, but it seemed like every shot that Larian Douglas threw was hurting Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa got knocked down by a jab from Larian Douglas. That's wild to me. Only took one round. It took 2 minutes. I think we have the new Ilya Taboria-ish in the featherweight division. Now, who knows how he is on the ground, but his KO power and how he generates it through his boxing is wild to me. Get him somebody in the top 15, maybe top 10, maybe, depending on how they feel with this fight. Julian Erosa, cut him. Get him out of here. Nico Price, Michael Chiesa. Nico Price did the one thing that everybody going into that fight would not have done. He gave up his back almost immediately. He threw one strike, and then he got taken advantage of and choked out by a rear naked choke in the first round. Michael Chiesa retires in the cage, which is great because I thought he did that last fight. Nico Price should be cut. I think this is 3 or 4 fight losing streak. Like, it's not looking good for him. Like, let me look. Yeah, see, loss, 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 loss. Win, loss, loss, win. Like, he's winning up against these old veterans, 50-50 on old veterans, and then losing to the people he should be having a competitive fight with. He should have had a competitive fight with Varetnikov. He should have had a competitive fight with Smith. He really should have had a competitive fight with Themba Karimbo. But, I mean, they want to keep him on because he's an exciting fighter, and I get it. So, not much to say about this other than the fact Michael Chiesa was able to get him down and secure a rear naked choke like he always does. Next up, my God, Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. Performance of the night going to Alexa Grasso. I think that this should have gotten fight of the night. That way they both get a bonus, but I can understand performance of the night Alexa Grasso because it was a 50-50 fight for the first, I'd say, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And then Alexa Grasso hits her with the meanest two down the pipe I've ever seen, knocking out Macy Barber, or at least dazing her. As soon as Macy Barber is falling down, Alexa Grasso follows up with a check hook, which knocks her the fuck out. After that, she then latches up a rear naked choke as Macy Barber's falling, by the way, and pulls off not only a knockout, but a knockout submission, or a submission knockout, depending on how you look at it. She is wild, and I can see why she had a trilogy with Valentina Shevchenko, because that was razor quick. I don't think I could have seen anybody else getting that close, or, well, getting it that quick. So it does seem Macy Barber is fine. She's posted. She's seeming fine. But it was scary. I don't see why the production team decided to fucking put her lifeless on the canvas with her eyes pointing straight at the camera. I don't know why they wanted to put that on TV. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody was thinking, like, oh God, is she dead? That's not what we need here at Paramount, okay? That's not what we need. Either way, great fucking fight. And last but not least, Joe Pyfer versus Isreal Adesanya. Joe Pyfer getting this one done by TKO. Isreal was looking really good at the beginning, using a lot of his distance management, a lot of his footwork. But Joe Pyfer, as the fight went along, was able to use more and more of his pressure and tough chin, I guess, to get into the pocket. From there, he was able to find a couple of takedowns. And it seemed as though as soon as Isreal got onto the ground for longer than about 2 minutes, he was just done. He was in full guard. He was trying out a couple of different submissions here and there. Nothing was really working. And so after that, he just decided to lay belly down and have Joe Pyfer just rain down shots. And then that's when they stepped in. Isreal Adesanya, I feel as though he should take one more fight and then get out of the UFC while he can, while he's still towards the top. Because the worst thing is he goes up against an MVP, and loses. Which actually I would love to see that, Isreal Adesanya versus MVP. Considering the fact MVP won against Sam Patterson, he's in the welterweight division, but he goes back and forth between welterweight and middleweight. Isreal Adesanya wants to have more fun fights with strikers, especially probably after seeing this fight, because it wasn't very exciting. Like it was to us, but I could see for Isreal Adesanya, it wasn't exciting. He wasn't getting the shots off like he had against Yoel Romero. He wasn't having the back and forth that he was having with Paulo Costa. He was more so just finally getting some sort of resistance that the other contenders didn't have. And so, I don't know. I feel Joe Pyfer should definitely get somebody in the top 5. I think maybe a Fluffy Hernandez. Maybe the loser of Sean Strickland and Hamzat. Because the winner is going to go up against Imavov. So I feel he should get somebody in the top 5. If I had to grade this fight night now out of 10, I'd say it's a solid 9.5. It's a solid 9.5. If they just had a better fight starting off with Bruno Brazil and Alexia Thainara, this would have been a 10 out of 10. 100%. Every fight on this gave something. Just gave some sort of controversy, a quick knockout, a long fought out decision, quick knockout, quick-ish knockout. But I mean, it was a great card. It was a great card. Also, just FYI, refs, if we say that you're keeping the fight too long, we're keeping the fight too long. Fucking step in, okay? Fucking, I swear to God, one of these fighters was fucking hit 100 fucking times before they fucking stepped in. I think it was Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Silva. Navajo Sterling threw 100 fucking unanswered shots. Or it was somebody around here that threw 100 shots. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't ever have that fucking ref in here again if he's going to be pulling that shit. That was horrid. But other than that, that's going to be my thoughts and breakdown on this. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like or follow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.